Hello everyone, it's Brittany at Big Cat Rescue here in Tampa, Florida, and I have another home tour for you. Today I'd like to show you Frankie Bobcat. And so what I'm going to do is just start at the very end of his enclosure. You can see that he has this giant rock wall, and there's an opening right there in the den. And what that is there's an air-conditioned den up there. We have a Canada lynx named Gilligan who is on the other side of this, who also has access to a different portion. And so, hi Frankie. Gonna say hi to everybody? He's like, follow me, I'll show you. And so behind the scenes of that is this area back here where you can see the air conditioning unit, and then there's this little door here. So if Frankie was ever just hanging out in there and we needed to see him, we're able to open this up and then we can get a good peek around in there, make sure he's doing okay. And what I'm gonna do now is just walk you guys all the way around his entire enclosure, wherever he ended up. So again, here's the other opening. He's got some nice big toys in there that he actually likes to lay next to. I've not actually seen him play per se. What were you doing up there? Were you trying to sneak? You trying to sneak? Okay. So you can see that there's a lot of natural foliage in the enclosure. We do try to give them as much of the natural as possible, but we still keep it groomed enough where we can see them. You want to show everybody? So lots of ferns. He loves laying in those ferns. He has a Coolaroo bed, which you can see is like a mesh bed that's lifted up off the ground. Those are really nice for the small cats because they create a nice breeze under them, keep them nice and cool. He has this huge multi-level platform. It's nice because they can scratch on it and rub on it. It can help cats with their mats by rubbing on the corners. And then it winds over here. So another big fern paradise. The walls are curved on all of our enclosures, and you'll see the 4x4 wire that we use. And the reason that we use that is because it's Florida. We do have a hurricane season. So the curved walls actually provide a lot of strength. And the wind can whip right through those 4x4 squares, much better than if it was a solid wall or even a smaller gauge. So it curves all the way around back here. You can see he has actual nice trees growing inside the enclosure. It's like a paradise back here. So here's another view forward of the platform and the rock wall. Nice big open space. Each section for the cats is about 12 to 1,800 square feet each, and then they have multiple sections. The sections have these interior walls with these guillotine doors. So the rope for that is right up here. So we're able to open and close that. So if we needed to shift Frankie out of this section or into this section so we could go in for maintenance, that is how we would do that. If we went in for maintenance, depending on which side Frankie would be shifted into and safely locked away, we would go in through what this is. It's a safety entrance. And so there is an outside door with a lock. Then there's an inside door with a lock and another inside door with a lock. So depending on which direction, if we need to go on this side or this side, that's gonna dictate which doors we're opening. He has a tree stump den back here, which is nice and private. He also has a water bowl. A lot of people don't understand why we lift the water bowls and have them kind of in a little box on the outside of the enclosure. That's so we can clean them every single day easily and safely. And also because wildcats like to pee in water, so we want to make sure they have fresh water for as long as possible. We refill them every day, but we want to make sure they stay nice for the next day. So we also use ceramic tiles on top, and we scrub those each day too, but those tiles prevent anything that's falling out of all of these trees from going into their water. So again, freshest water for as long as possible. So we'll make our way around here. Another toy in there. Of course, he's a bobcat, so his toys are anything that moves, and he loves to scratch the trees. He has a nice little additional concrete den here, so say we had to lock him away from that very big den or that tree stump den, we know that he would be nice and safe during any kind of weather issues. Another view of his platform. So we're just on the other side of the enclosure now. He really likes this front area. Usually if you can't find Frankie, it's because he is somewhere in those ferns watching you. So here is another rope to a guillotine door, and then this is his feeding lockout. Oh, there's Gilligan making a cameo. So this is a feeding lockout. Frankie comes in here every single morning, and we are able to drop his food right onto that cement slab. And then he has another water bowl, and then there's that thin layer of additional wire, chicken wire, and we have that here in order to keep any kind of large birds like vultures from trying to steal food from the cats. The other really important reason for these lockouts is for medical purposes. So we get them really comfortable in going into their feeding lockout using operant conditioning. Here he is. And if he was ever having a medical issue, we're able to call him into that feeding lockout. The vet can get a very up-close personal view of the cat. We can watch how they're eating, we can check their feet and their teeth and their nails and their ears and all of that good stuff without necessarily needing to sedate them. If he did need a medical exam where we were going to sedate him, we're able to call them into that lockout, close that guillotine door behind them, and then we can go in the enclosure with a transport cage, put it on the other side of this door here, and then they load right up and we take them into the hospital for their exam. So we try to make it as painless as possible, easy breezy, so that they get the best medical care possible here. So we are at the end, and there is another safety entrance right here. So you could either go to Gilligan's enclosure or you could go to Frankie's enclosure. So if you have any other questions about our enclosures here at Big Cat Rescue, you can always go to bigcatrescue.org/cages. All right, bye Frankie. You're too cute. That's when you're supposed to trot away.